Hi, thanks for joining me today. How can you stop your stepchildren getting away with things? Is discipline a problem in your stepfamily? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and I'll let you know every time I post. Do you find yourself saying things like, how do they always get away with it? Or how can I stop them getting away with things? I mean, something will happen just before a stepchild leaves and they'll have got away with something yet again. And then the next time you see them, it's all supposed to be forgotten. There seems to be no consequences. They seem to be able to get away with anything. It can really be extremely difficult and damaging. My recommendation would be that when you see your stepchild getting away with something, it's very easy to want to do something about it then and there. But my recommendation is not to do that. My recommendation is to not challenge when discipline is needing to happen at the time, but learn from the thing that you're wanting to change, the thing that's going wrong, the thing that they're getting away with, what's happened. My experience of this is if something has gone wrong once, it's likely to go wrong again. So the child will do the same thing again and again and again. It'll become a repeating pattern. And if it doesn't, if the problem never does happen again, then you don't have a problem. And your job as a step parent and not a parent is to plan for it not to go wrong in the future. It's gone wrong now and there's no point in doing anything about it. But what you can do is you can withdraw and think about what would put this right. Now, there are two directions to go. If your partner is on board with what needs to happen and you agree that what's happening isn't right, then it's communication with the stepchildren that needs to happen. Stepchildren, if you've got more than one, or that particular stepchild, if you're wanting to stop a particular thing happening. And the route you go with the stepchild is to hold a meeting and put into place regular meetings so they don't always associate a meeting with bad news and they've done something wrong. Put into place a regular meeting, once a month, once a fortnight, at the beginning of every time they come if necessary. Or if you don't need them that often, once a term, once every time the holidays begin. But you have a system of regular, proper communication where you sit down with the stepchildren and do fun things like plan what's coming up, share news, make arrangements, talk about holidays you're planning, but also look at the rules for the house and what needs to happen and what needs to stop happening. One of the good ways of looking at this is to think of it in terms of, so what continues, stops and starts. So we need to start doing this, we need to stop doing the other, and it's good to continue doing this. So there are three ways of looking at it: stop, start, or continue. If your partner doesn't agree with you about the behaviour or what's wrong, then your issue is not with the stepchild, your issue is with your partner. And then you have to take a view, because without your partner backing you up, your stepchild is going to likely to turn around and say, you're not my mum or you're not my dad and you can't tell me what to do. So you need to have the discussion with your partner. And then if your partner refuses to agree with you, then ultimately you have to withdraw from the situation and let your partner manage the behaviour or the situation that you don't think is good on their own. Now, it's likely that if you don't agree with the behaviour that you're witnessing, that your partner will begin to struggle with it too, especially if you're not supporting them. So let your partner struggle with the poor behaviour from their child and take a back seat. Go elsewhere. Don't look at it. Don't comment on it. Just let the two of them fight it out. And then, when your partner gets fed up with the behaviour of their child, they may come to you and you can co-parent together. But if you get in the way of between the stepchild and their parent and say, I don't like this shouldn't be happening, and your partner doesn't agree with you, then your partner will side with their child against you, and it'll become a 2 against 1. You can't win that one. You can't win it. You've got to back off and wait until your partner can see the error of what's going on. And sometimes it's possible for you to point that out occasionally. Say, well, so-and-so did it again, and this was the consequence. And just highlight it slightly. But don't get in the way or in between your partner and their child. We run workshops, sessions, we have an email response service, and we write booklets. Have a look at the description box below for links to our media and website.